Hey, you there! Thank you for watching, and welcome to Forge Lines Forever. Today I have a 6v6 custom match here on the most amazing Neuroxys map generator. So let's go ahead and introduce our teams and our players. Starting off with Team 1 in the north and ending with Team 2 in the south. Very simple and easy to keep track of. Starting off with Team 1's western player, they're going east. We have in Emerald Green, it is Quiet Storm. He is a Cybran with this match as a 1700. And continuing on, we have in Stitch Blue, it is Chap. He is a Seraphim. He is a 1300. And Amethyst Purple to his east, we have Cunning Fox. He is a Seraphim. He is an 1800. In Chevy Crimson to his east, it is Soggy Cow. Very interesting image there. He is a Cybran as a 900. And Barbie Pink is the Cybran player of Squealer. He is a 1200. And in the northeastern corner of the map here, in Lightish Red Pink, we have Created in Abyss. He is a Seraphim. He is a 1900, the highest rated player on Team 1, and tied the highest rated player overall. So for Team 1 side of the map, they have three Cybrans, 3 Seraphim, no Aeon, no UEF. Very surprising to not have at least one UEF on Team 1, given this is a heavy naval map. Starting off with Team 2's eastern player, then going westward this time, we have in glow-in-the-dark green, it is Team 2's Weeb. He is a 1400 as an Aeon. To his west, we have in Tropical Ocean Blue, definitely fitting for this environment, it is Darth Sand. He is a 1400 as an Aeon as well. And Snow White, blending in with the land environment at least, it is Katsu. He is a UEF as a 1700. In Orange the Color Orange to his west, it is Stinky Joe as a UEF. He is a 1000 rated player, already getting his feet wet. And to his west, it is the best color and also Supreme Commanderdom. It is Forest Green player of Ringo. He is a Seraphim as a 1400. And last but not least for Team 2, it is the highest rated player on their team and tied with Created in Abyss for the highest rated player overall. It is Luca. He is an Aeon in Ruby Red. So for Team 2 side of the map, they have 3 Aeons, 2 UEF, 1 Seraphim, so definitely making up for Team 1's lack of Aeons and UEF, but they do lack the Cybran faction. So there is some, not uniqueness, but there's some advantages and disadvantages for both of our teams. And of course, for these 12 players on the map, I don't expect so much reclaim, but oh, that's the wrong button. 2500 mass, that's kind of what I expected. It's a Navy map. Usually there's not a lot of reclaim on a Navy map. It's just kind of how things tend to be. But there's actually a decent amount of mexes in the water. There's some on, the eastern and western islands, or are those islands? No, those are islands. And there's a decent amount in the front of Team 1 and Team 2's bases. Some mexes to be fought over in the middle, like this Trimex position over there to the west and the east, and then another twin mex on the tip of said island. But of course, as the everything indicates about this map, it is a Navy map or pseudo-Navy or air map. Every map is an air map, I guess. That's kind of redundant, so I expect to see lots of boats, lots of action, and lots of sinkage in the water. And it also has been a while since I've casted a game on like an icy map. I feel like a lot of my games recently have either been desert, forest, that like greenish, grayish color scheme. I forget how to actually describe it, but everybody I think knows what I'm talking about at that point. Let's go ahead and see where our players are handed off to. Again, it is a Navy map, so early on, 3 players on Team 1 being Cybran, heavy advantage for the offensive capabilities for their comm, the only one that have torpedoes on board. The downside is the longer those stay there, the more likely they'll be killed because there'll be destroyers and other T2 torp bombers, whatnot online. So the early game is very, very important for Team 1 to get out there, to get early mexes, to get denying mexes online sooner rather than later, because T1 subs not going to really cut it against a Cybran torpedo commander. So got to take advantage of the faction advantages when you have it. Team 2 has 1 Seraphim player and 2 UEF players, so, cruiser missile tech, same thing with Team 1 online for both of them, but Team 2 does have the only shield boat capable fleet in the game with those UEF bulwarks. We see a couple of subs inbound from Team 1 on the western side, going after the engineers and other forces here for Team 2's western front. But I think that engineer is hover, so no, it can't actually be shot at with torpedoes. But it can shoot at the stuff in the west. I think Aeons they're also hover. So it's only the Cyberns and the UEF that can be killed off while they're sitting in the water. In the east, couple of subs dealing with that frigate against Darth Sand's position. And of course, with the highest rated players in the corners of the map, there will be a little bit of focus on those, just either consciously or unconsciously for both teams. We see that actively being demonstrated by Team 1 going after Luker's position. Multiple subs inbound. Going to deny at least a couple of mexes. Luker's taking some damage, but it's not too bad. It's not great, but it's not too bad. I'm assuming he's going to build his own subs. Yep, he's building them shortly, so they'll counter the ones from Team 1, but it'll take at least a couple of moments to get them there. We do see not really everybody has dipped their toes into the water to hide their comms at a minimum. Team 1's Soggy Cow up to the north getting a T2 land facility. Again, in a game with Navy and Air primarily, going for T2 Navy, T2 land. I mean, he could get those Wagners. He could go for T3, go for bricks. But there is avenues for that. Or he could just spam straight for T3. Engineers go for a crab and just be a menace. And just sit there with 110,000 HP and just say, okay, come kill me. Maybe. In the east, a little bit better here, at least for Team 2's perspective. There's not really a lot of aggression coming out of Team 1's eastern front. I think they're being a little bit more, not cagey, but more defensive on that side of the map just to make sure that, of course, they protect, well, players in general, but specifically this corner of the map, which Team 2 was actively being attacked at. And look at this force inbound from Team 1 still causing some havoc. We do see some forces now stacked up for Luker, but multiple facilities offline for Ringo. He has T2 Navy, though. Hopefully he'll keep that because he's definitely going to be not happy about losing that. And a couple of bombers inbound to just harass the engineers for Stinky. I always want to say Skinny, but Stinky Joe. We do see that T2 Naval Headquarters is going to pump out some Coopers first, so trying to deal with the subs first, but the T2 Naval Headquarters in the west is being hit very badly. Look at all those slivers, not slivers, so South Issels online for Team 1 and the slivers, so that's again not looking good. It's dropping into the low yellows. It's gonna hit the red and it's gonna die. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. That facility is dying, unfortunately, for Ringo, and that is going to hurt. T2 torp bombers inbound, though, from Katsu might help, but yeah, it's a little too late on that front. And we do see some more inbound subs from Darth Sand to assist, but that is very brutal to lose that facility early. It's just going to really put Team 2 back on that western side. But we do see that Luker is making up the difference for at least trying to keep more forces from Team 1 from coagulating over here in front of Team 2's western side. Team 1 is being attacked a little bit now by T2 Vespers. So while Team 2 was being a little bit more, again, not aggressive, they were just teching up. For those T2 sub-hunters, not sub-killers, like the Barracudas want to be called, are running around. Again, there are a lot of Team 1 subs nearby here for Team 1, so it's not like they're entirely defenseless. And there's also a destroyer online, so there are some defenses in the torpedo technology department, but looks like they're going to try to outrun the subs from Team 1. No T2 Air that I've noticed. Oh, T2 Air has been started for Soggy and is done, actually. He's going to go for T3. No, I don't think he's going to go for T3 right now. Team 2, I did see T2 Air at a minimum. T3, no T3 as of yet. No, not T3 as of yet. So it looks like everybody's kind of being a little bit more focused on Navy. Again, in a map like this, you kind of have to be, because look at all that water. I mean, yes, there is some land in the east and the west, but for the most part, it's going to be all Navy. We do see those Vespers have been finally eliminated. They killed off a couple of mexes, which is great for sniping at Team 1's eco, but I feel like that T2 Naval Headquarters was brutal. He's almost back up to T2, though, so that's going to be nice, but he's also lost a lot of mexes, same with Luker. So it's just kind of not being great for Team 2 on this western side. Set them back a couple of minutes. Torp done for Quiet Storm, starting stealth. Definitely going to want to have Nano on board if he's going to want to use that torpedo comp, just because he's going to take a lot of hits. And being able to regen is definitely more important than getting out there a minute or two earlier. Because right now there's not that much on the field, but take a couple minutes and it's going to change very quickly, especially if Team 2 notices. And Team 2 is probably prepping for that at some point. Somebody on Team 1, that's probably what they're thinking, is going to go for Torp Com, so they might as well prep for it at some point. T2 Navy done for Luca, going for, I think, destroyers. Yeah, those have to be destroyers. Usually players don't start with cruisers unless there's really no reason not to. If essentially destroyers wouldn't really be worth it. You do see more destroyers now outbound here for the orange player of Stinky Joe. He has a couple of frigates, a couple of Coopers. A very underutilized unit, I'd say, for the UEF class. It's a torpedo boat. It's very weak, only 2,000 hit points, so it is one of those units where you gotta very much protect it or it's just going to get wiped out instantaneously. But they put out a lot of torpedo damage. But again, the only thing about these things is they can be targeted by everything because they actually stick above the water. They're not subs. There are T1 subs, but there's no T2 subs, if I remember correctly, from the UEF lineup. So it makes them very prone to just being dead. Got to keep those units moving constantly, which he is currently doing. So it's keeping at least the simulated shots from Team 1 at bay. But of course, the lasers, they hardly miss. Hardly being the key word in that statement. 99.9% of the time. Oh, nice double kill here by that Exodus class destroyer on the western side. Spam facilities to soak up damage. Team 1 Torp defense as well as Team 1 subs online to assist with that defense as well. We do see Quiet Storm moving in. He has stealth and torpedo. Once Team 2 figures out where he is, that's not going to be a good day for him. In the eastern side, Team 2 is holding back, but we do see, not holding Team 1 back, not holding back. And we do see, of course, all those Torp defense, what would you call those things? Not buoys. They're not depth charges, but they're like depth charges, but they're dummies. Flares in the water? I don't even remember what they're called. Anyway, it's a way to confuse the torpedo, essentially. T2, 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 T2. Everybody except for Cow on T2 Navy. Team 1, 2, 2, 2. Looks like the T2 facility either was destroyed or just never actually... Oh, he's going for T3 Air. Okay. So, Team 2 has T3 Air. Team 1 does not. That's not going to be very helpful. Of course, also to point out, with Team 2 having an advantage in air for torpedoes specifically, they have Aeons, they have Solaces. Very brutal unit. Very, very brutal unit. It's like the missile ship, but in the air. It's not great. It's not a great unit, especially if you're a comm in the water. Thousands of damage. Nope. In the west, Team 1 still pushing into Luca's position. They are not letting up. Unfortunately, they've at least prepped a little bit more defenses in the interim, so it's not going to be just a walk in the park or a swim in the park, I guess, at this point. Still, I don't see anybody going for T3 Air. That 14, almost 15 minutes on the clock, and no one has started an upgrade? That's not great for Team 1 by any means. Dude Cruiser says, created an abyss. Cruisers are nice. They can redirect missiles, those Cybran ones. They don't have cruiser missiles, but, you know, being able to redirect is always fun. A couple of destroyers just waiting to engage. Squealer going for an upgrade, most likely Nano. And Rapid Restore Regen Field online for Chap, so he's going for Regen Ore. A very interesting upgrade, of course, in Navy. It actually does very well, especially when you get it to the advanced regen, and just makes it very annoying to deal with. But cruisers are online for Team 2's Ringo, going after the frontline facilities. And here come the forces inbound from Luker. Quiet Storm is still in the water, so he can be targeted by torpedoes. And his head is almost about to stick out of the water, so those Exodus class cannons are going to open fire. Quiet Storm, not feeling too well. He's in the yellow. This could be the first departure of the game, but it looks like Luke is a little bit more focused on the everything else happening random. There's also Barracudas nearby, so that's not helping the situation. We even see more forces inbound from Ringo to at least push back Team 1. And of course, keeping his cruiser back, very, very important. So it doesn't get just bombed out of existence by those bombers or just shot at a bunch by those torpedoes. Speaking of T2 subs, Vespers inbound once again for Weeb. Again, trying to bob and weave. Not weeb, but weave into the conflict and then pop back out. Lots and lots of destroyers. Decent amount of shield. Now, again, they are Asylum, so they're not as good as the Bulwarks in terms of their AoE range. Or their width. Width would be, I think, the correct word. I don't know what you would call it. Yeah, I think it'd be just their... not bubble shield size, but there's probably a good word to describe it. I just can't think of it. Anyway, we do see that the laser cannons are leading the fight, and Team 2 is just getting really pushed back here. Western side, similar kind of story, but not really. It's kind of more of a stalemate at this point. Counter cruisers online for Team 1. T3 air facility has been started by Soggy Cow, so has access to T3 here shortly, but Team 2 has had access for at least a couple of minutes. T2 Navy not still started. Katsu still only producing those Storks, and at this point you might as well get an Aeon engineer build up at T3 Aeon headquarters and then just bomb it with Solaces and call it a day. It would definitely force Team 1 to go for T3 air to counter that. Granted, you can counter it with flak and whatnot, but it's just a lot easier with ASFs. We do see Quiet Storm still on the front line. Doesn't have nano, but is back up into the green, so he's been repping up quite nicely. He's been out of the fight for a couple of moments. Destroyers going after this little grouping of cruisers here. Quiet Storm, oh, he got hit with that shot. That's gotta hurt. I don't think he's being ground fired. His head might be sticking up out of the water just oh yeah, no, he is, okay. But Squealer is defeated by Weeb. Squealer was on the front line and just got annihilated. Yeah, I see that now. So dangerous. Yeah, so Team 2 claims first blood. It is now a 6v5 in favor of the southern team of Team 2. Not great in terms of losing a player somewhat early, but it does give Team 1's highest rated player of Created Abyss a second base. Now that is dangerous. Getting double eco in a Navy map could mean T3 Navy very quickly, and that can really scale very, very badly. Team 1 and Team 2 just have to be very careful, especially with that eastern side with T3 Navy definitely soon. We see more and more just back and forth here on the western side. It's not necessarily one-sided, but not super great for Team 2. T2 Tort Bombers inbound. They're going for destroyers. They don't go for Chaps Comm. Of course, the Regenor helping to rep up 50 hit points a second for the regular Regenor is really good considering. We're seeing more AA surrounding him as well. Doesn't want a repeat of what happened to Squealer over here to the east. I don't blame him. You know, getting annihilated. I mean, it was probably a combination of the Vespers came in and just ripped up the hit points. It was just not a great scenario to be in. That's why it's dangerous to have your comm in the water in Navy, because things can get away from you very quickly. You know, and like most things, but especially Navy. T2 Torp Bombers inbound. They're going to go for those destroyers. Once again, lots of cruisers, and of course the Cybran ones can attack ground/naval units. So they can make a difference. Again, shots down range do make a difference eventually. Frigate gets taken out. Looks like maybe Frigate's actually body blocked for some of their cruiser companions. Finish capping water mechs, just says Squealer. Oh, talking to Created Abyss about ecoing, essentially. Do you see in the west, again, it's looking like Team 1 is starting to dominate. They've taken the middle, and they're pushing into Team 2's territory. Just ever so slightly. T3 Naval Headquarters is started for Team 2. Going for that early. T3 Land upgrade has been started by Created Abyss. Maybe wants those engineers, maybe soon to be T3 Navy for him. He also has the T2 Cybran facility as well. that maybe he'll upgrade to. I feel like, I don't know, I feel like T3 Cyber and T2 Seraphim is probably a really good combo, just because you have the laser weapons and then you also have the galaxies. But then you miss out at the Yassaus. The Yassaus are a thing. They're very annoying to deal with. So it's kind of a, you know, do you upgrade both? Do you not upgrade both? Is it worth upgrading both? All that sort of questions running through every player's mind. Team 1's Western player, Quystone, going for his Team 3 Naval Headquarters upgrade. I think that's the only player on Team 1 going for that. Luca going for Team 3 as well. So 2 Team 3 Naval Headquarters soon for Team 2. T2's done. And Team 3 is done for Team 2. He's not producing anything yet, but he has it available to him. Of course, he has a boost in eco because of that side base over here, which, surprisingly enough, has not been attacked yet. You would think some destroyers or something would just line up right here, but they have not, which is very weird. It's kind of a, similar thing happened a little bit over here to the west earlier with Luca. He went for at least a little bit of base damage over there. Got pushed back, but at least he got some mexes killed. T3 is done. T3 almost done. T3 is almost done. And maybe giving up for T3. That's a lot of engineers to stack up. We'll see if he ends up going for it. 21 minutes on the clock here. Team 1's eco 800, Team 2's 1,000. So Team 2 doing very well. But the player who's producing the most mass isn't surprising. It has created an abyss at almost 300, of course, with dual base. But Stinky Joe at 230 for Team 2. And Ringo almost at 200, and then Katsu right behind him. So it's more of the law of averages for Team 2 versus the spotlight for Team 1, essentially. T3 Naval Headquarters started for Stinky Joe, but that is a lot of destroyers inbound. Looking pretty dangerous. Going for omens. Yeah, it's definitely an omen. There's no way that's a Torrent-class missile ship. That's not a smart idea in this boat. I mean, getting missile ships are always a good idea, but not first, at least not in that case. Now you may want double nano soon. For 40k HP. 40k. Oh, no, yeah, for 40k. He is... Oh, is that the advanced region? It is maybe the advanced region. Maybe I'm... Yeah, that is the advanced region. I apologize. For some reason, I thought it was the regular one, but it is not. Somebody probably commented at that point, like, actually, that's the advanced nano region, not the regular one. I'm like, yeah, I wish they made it easier to tell that. But they don't. So that's my 2 cents on that front. Anyway, T3 Omen is online. And those... I mean, destroyers could try to rush him, but don't think that's a great play. I mean, they could maybe take out that one Omen, but one's going to be deployed here shortly anyways, and it's just... That's going to be a lot of dead forces for Team 2 to scoop up. Nuke has been started for Soggy Cow, so T3 Air Facility. And going for Nuke. So, and it's actually done. 23 minutes on the clock. That's a pretty quick nuke considering. He's not spam loading it as we speak. Probably needs more P-gens and energy available to him. But that's going to be not great for Team 2 by any means. That's a lot of firepower inbound. And it looks like Team 1's Great Abyss maybe heard me from the ether, because look, he is starting to rush this Omen. Looks like attack orders are going down. And it's just spam, spam, spam. Of course, the Asylums are protecting that Omen very heavily. And there goes just shots inbound. Not feeling great on that eastern side for Team 1. Team 1 looking very well. Not really a lot of combat happening. Now we see an Omen moving in for Luker, so it's going to prompt everything from Quystone to be like, no, I'm not going to sit here and deal with that. Galaxy almost done for him as well, so he'll have some battleship power here shortly. And T3 Yassau is coming on the field here for Team 2. That's going to not have good things happen to Team 1's Western Front. We do see some bombers inbound. they don't really get much done, unfortunately. That Omen, just not looking good. You see the lasers came in and really just wrecked shop, as well as, of course, all those destroyers sitting behind them. And that is the downside with having a big ship like that. It's designed for long-range combat. Once it gets into range of destroyers, it just does not have a fun time. That's why it's nice to build the Neptune, because it's kind of a nice little mix of both, which we do see T3. There she is. Very, very beautiful ship. Very, very annoying to deal with if you have to deal with it, but very beautiful ship to watch just wreck a lot of stuff. Again, it doesn't have the range of a battleship, but it's kind of like a not mid-range unit, but like a in-between destroyer and battleship. It's just very good. It has really, really good DPS. It just lacks HP and range, so got to protect it with bulwarks. That's a good idea. Another battleship, of course, online, but again, it is a target-rich environment, but all those targets are shooting at that one thing. So, yeah, not great. Nobody on Team 2 for Aeon have got... Never mind. Never mind. I was going to say no one went for T3 Air, but we did, so I'm just going to eat those words almost immediately after speaking them. And we do see that his other Aeon teammate of Dartsan has gone for destroyers as well. But look at the ground that Team 1 has gained here. Doing very, very well. Looks like somebody had to pause. Maybe they had to go get the door. Their dog was barking, something like that. That is something I really do appreciate with Forge Alliance Forever players, is that, hey, I got to deal with something for a minute. Apologies, let me go deal with it. And they're like, oh, yeah. Most people would be like, no, if you have to leave, that's your problem, not mine. Most, pretty much everybody in the community is just like, yeah, that's fine. Go take a minute. Because this game, they take a while. It's not like COD where... a match is over in 5 minutes, you can just do another one kind of thing. So, 30, 40, an hour, hour and a half. I mean, fatigue, all that. You're thirsty, whatever. This game drains you. Like other strategy games like this, it takes a lot out of you, especially for long-term playing, especially if players play at like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, which is just crazy to think about that people do that. I could never do that. I don't even know. My brain hardly ever functions at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning if I even stay up that late anymore. Speaking of which, the nuke is almost loaded, so that's something for Team 2 to know about. If they do, they will spot it right now. That's going to not be great for Team 2. SMD, SMD, SMD. One SMD has been spotted, not even loaded. That is a free nuke for Team 1, and Katsu's like, nuke! And I'm like, yeah, it's not great for you. Katsu probably won't be the target. I don't know who it would be. Maybe they go after Luke, or they go after something that is trending very well for them. So maybe, I don't know, maybe Katsu, maybe, I don't know. I think it's just open season. You pick somebody, and it's going to benefit significantly. Look at those Omens just getting wrecked. But look at the Neptune. It's hitting there, waiting to engage. There goes the laser weapons. As they stole the dual design on those Seraphim destroyers and went, oh, we'll just make it bigger. Essentially combine a Summit's cannons and just take one of the barrels off and call it a day. If he builds a Summit. Nope, that's another Neptune. Is he building another? Hey, there we go. He's building another Neptune. There you go. Spam those things all day, every day. Western side of things, the game in Navy is starting to slow down. T3 Navy tends to do that. Longer ranges, more units. There's a lot of stuff to shoot at. It just takes a while to chew through the hit points, which is one of the reasons why it's hard and I think a little bit easier to play Navy. But if you can get built up to the point where it's, again, a longer kind of engagements are taking a couple of minutes, you can go do something else and come back and go do something else and come back, and it's not like spamming your mouse around the map. But at 28 minutes and 22 seconds on the clock, Team 1 sitting at 1.3k. Team 2 has extended their lead in terms of how much ahead of the Team 1 they are to 400 mass per second at 1.7. Nuke is outbound, so we'll see who it goes for before I declare if anybody's dead or alive. But Team 1, they're not going to lose a player unless it's in the first the next like 30 seconds. It's going to go east, by the way. It's going to go for Weeb's base. Team 1, 5 players left, have lost Squealer. Only Team 2 currently have 6 players. I don't think they'll lose Weeb, but his base is going to go up. Not great. I don't know if that's who I would have targeted. I mean, he's not... Yeah, he's the one that has, a decent portion of the omens, but I just don't know if that player was worth it. Maybe... I mean, based on eco alone, you'd probably go after Stinky Joe or Ringo, but obviously Team 1 doesn't know the numbers. Boom! Takes out the small little air grid, takes out some mexes. So not great for Team 2, but it's definitely recoverable. Let me know down in the comments who you think is going to currently win this game. Of course, if you haven't done so already, why not? Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, hit the whatever buttons. Whatever you do on YouTube, even if it's just watch the video. Thank you. I really appreciate it. And of course, as always, let's go ahead to see where this action is currently taking us in the game. In the western side here, we have, again, the 2 comms for Team 1 for Quiet Storm and Chap have not left. It looks like Chap is finally going for Nano at almost 30 minutes. Definitely not a good place to sit by any means, but it shouldn't be too bad for him. It's a little bit dangerous, but it's not terrible. We do see a couple of Yasaos having some conversations with some other Yasaos about which color scheme is better. Currently, Ringo is winning out. Granted, there's no favoritism in that realm of conversation at all from the caster, at all. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Eastern side, 4 Omens versus 2 Galaxies. Number-wise, not great, but Team 1 is bringing up more forces, and they are, of course, slowly being pushed back. Now, there are some harms built by Soggy Cow, and he's built a decent chunk. They're on the eastern side, essentially, keeping Team 2 for really just full sending it, which is obviously good to do. It's going to give him a nice, another defensible line. T3 artillery has been started by Stinky Joe. This is a Navy map. This is the one time where I'm like, this is a Navy map. No. I mean, he can do whatever he wants. And unless there's a gentleman's agreement ahead of time, like, he can do whatever he wants, but it's just like, I like the sanctity of Navy. Sentence is a different game where everything happens in that map, so there's no ifs, ands, or buts. There's no, like, you can't build game enders. It's like, no, this is Sentence. Everybody builds the whatever they want to build kind of thing. So, anyway, that's my little soapbox there for 2 seconds. Anyway, D3 land started here for Luker, most likely going for just engineers, maybe. I don't know what else he would go for T3 land. He can't send his Harbinger in the water. Can't send his Redeemers in the water. Can't send his Sniper Bots in the water. His Asylums are at T2, so they're probably just the engineers. SMD asking Scout Luca for SMD, says Squint. That's an interesting notification. I haven't seen that before. Or unless that's an actual typed out Scout Luca for SMD. I feel like that should be like a ping, like, hey, look for SMD. Hey, look for Nuke. Hey, look for an item. I feel like that'd be a pretty cool, like, ping ability. Anyway, again, my little soapboxes keep on growing in number, not necessarily in tallness. Another Nuke is about to be loaded. It's killed off 27,000 mass. SMD not loaded. SMD is now loaded. SMD loaded. SMD loaded. And for Luker, SMD doesn't exist. Ooh, that could be an opportunity for team. No SMD, says Squealer, and he's happy about it. So we know the next target. So we know Weeb is probably going for an SMD. Yep, right there. A little bit far forward for my taste, but it's not where you would expect it, so it's a nice placement. Again, just so many destroyers online. Look at all of the nonsense here. Oh, you just gotta love it. You got Galaxies in there, you got Neptunes in there, you got Omens, you got the, almost the everything you need. Oh, there's a Asylum in there. I thought that was a Bulwark for a second, which I actually know there is a Bulwark in there. Never mind. It's just Navy, for some reason, I think is the most beautiful to watch. I don't know what it is, but I just think it's pretty to watch. All the ships dying and the whatnot. It's like War of Warships, but way more intense. If you've ever played that game. No, it's not War of Warships. It's World of Warships, not War of Warships. I used to play World of Tanks a long time ago. It was a fun game. It kind of, for me, it kind of gets very repetitive. I mean, yeah, it's cool to unlock newer, like, different tanks and whatnot, but, you know, it's kind of like a lot of games where, okay, this has been fun, but I can't do the same thing 30 different times in one day, or, you know, do the same action 30 times. So, Galaxy is gone. Spam on the eastern side by Spirits. Not going for Aurora are definitely an interesting choice. Obviously, Spirits are cheaper. And this also gives him a little bit more intelligence. That's probably what he's after. But Nuke is outbound from Team 1 once again. And it is going for Luker. Luker now has an SMD. No way that's going to load in time. But this is promising. Team 2 going for Tempest. Team 2, coincidentally enough, the only team that has access to naval experimentals. The Tempest and the Atlantis. Huh. I just realized that. Or at least I knew that, and I just forgot to mention it, I guess. And anyway, so maybe we'll see the Atlantis in the game appear. Here comes the nuke. Boom. Does not hit the T3 naval headquarters. Very unfortunate. Probably tried to do a little bit of both and didn't get everything he wanted. I feel like he could have struck the T3 land headquarters, taken out a bunch of mexes, and still that. So, you know, could have been a little bit better on the placement, but I know a nuke that kills off a bunch of stuff is always fun to watch, and I always get to say kaboom, so there's also that. And the war in the east slowly just deteriorating for Team 1. It's not looking good. You have 3 players essentially focusing on this eastern side. Stinky Joe, technically 4. You have Weeb, Dart Sand, Katsu, and Stinky Joe. So the fact that Team 1's created an Abyss and Cow is supporting Harms just shows the testament of a 1900. Again, it's essentially a 4v2, and on the western side, it's back and forth, but it's pretty much been a 2v2 for a while. We do see that Cunning Fox has now deployed a decent air grid, has a decent amount of torp bombers inbound. It does have a couple of battleships running around. I think he's been kind of floating more west than east. We do even see some Yasows inbound now from Chap. It's almost like, okay, it's a 4v2. Maybe I should kind of dip over here, which is definitely a good idea. We see some AA back here. That's being taken out by some missile fire, but now that's being knocked down by some zappers. Bombers split targets going after the Neptunes? I think they went after the Neptunes. I don't really know what they went for, but they went for something. It hit the Neptunes. It hit the bulwark shields, but didn't actually hit anything. Oh, I love how there's just one Yasow here hanging out. And it's still... Nope, it's gone. But it made it to here. Tempest started here for Dart Sand, so 2 experimentals soon for Team 2. 1 already done. ARAS started for Luker, and it's done. I should say it's not even started, it's done. Now that is going to shake things up. That extra range on board, brutal. Absolutely devastating. Especially it being a battleship. Now you can counter it very easily because it's very slow. Especially not torpedoes, but I mean, like anything, you can spam a bunch of torp bombers, but cruiser missiles specifically, very useful because it's just constantly, essentially pinging the unit in the north. Not great here. Yasows do have torp defense on board, but of course it is not almighty, and looks like actually none of them get taken out, coincidentally enough. So that's a thing. And we do see a lot of ASFs now stacking up for Team 1. I think Team 1's now switching to more air power since they're losing somewhat on the air department, on the naval department, which I don't blame them. That would be the next logical step. That and artillery or game enders or something. 40 Not even 40 minutes on the clock. That artillery is almost done, so that's going to really prompt for Team 1 to do something else. That nuke is probably going to be the first target. Another nuke, speaking of which, almost loaded, so Cow's almost going to launch his third nuke, but there should be SMDs pretty much loaded everywhere if they're not already by now. So he got 2 nukes out with no issue, so I'd say that's really good. Yassel's being deployed. Omen's being taken out. Again, it's a slow bombardment in the west. Darkstand done with his Tempest. And he's going to build another one and another one and another one and another one immediately. This stack of... one is building Summits for the most part, and one is building Neptunes. We can see the cooperation going down. Look at all the Neptunes. Oh, it's just chef's kiss. It's beautiful. Again, no favoritism by any means. And there goes that galaxy. Still Team 2 not willing to engage the harms. I don't blame them. There's enough of them to be definitely worrisome. I'm kind of surprised that Fox doesn't spam more of those out, or anybody else on Team 1 for that matter. They're the only ones that have access to that, so you might as well use it. I know it's a lot of mass investment and whatnot, but it's definitely worth it because it's keeping Team 2 a little bit at bay. They don't want to, again, full send it. Now we see cruise and missile fire taking out the eastern side here for Team 2, but they do have volcanoes. They are the best with dealing with groups of missiles. Nuke is outbound. I think that SMD can... no. It's too far over to the east. It's close, but it's not that far over. And it's going to take out possibly a Tempest if it doesn't get out of range. Everything from Team 2 just moves in a direction. Engineers are going to go pop another Tempest. I don't know what I was saying. That's going to get denied. And again, Chap's on the front lines. He has advanced nano and advanced regen. 35,000 hit points on board the comm. No veterancy because he doesn't have torpedo. And we do see the Yassos are engaging. And again, with the regen, it's not even going to be a contest. Here comes the nuke. It's going to land actually almost dead center between both those Tempests. That Summit's going to not have a good day. Boom. And actually, surprisingly enough, neither of those Summits really those Tempests affected. The Summit was definitely affected. The engineers died, a decent amount of them, and a lot of them were EMP'd, and a lot of them were damaged. But at the minimum, Team 2 will keep most of its build power. A couple of Summits push forward and learn the lesson of pain. Yeah, it's just not going well. But groups of them getting taken out by flak, that's never a good day. Again, hover tech units in Navy is just, man, it's annoying to deal with. But look at this, another insurgence by Team 1. Team 2 has been pushed back consecutively on this western side. So Team 1 really leading the attack in that side. Of course, Team 2 kind of coming to a stalemate now at this point, but it's shifted in Team 2's direction at least a decent amount. Mass income, 2.3 to 2.1. So Team 1 is catching up, but Team 2 still has the lead at a minimum. So, again, as I always say, it's concerning, but it's not the end-all be-all. It's not like 3.6K to 2K or something. It's not, a crazy amount of mass in favor one way or the other. But look how far forward Chap is. I mean, he's on Team 2's side of the map at this point. He's past that little island in the middle. He's past all, of his territory, if a little bit more than that, of course. There's this little sandbar over here that's just hanging out. Luke is done with an experimental. That's another Tempest online for him. He could ground fire and kill off those Tempests. It's not Tempest. I keep saying Tempest. Yassos immediately. But looks like he's focused more on the units he can actually easily tell. Can you even see that? He's got to know that they're there. Yeah, he knows that they're there. Okay, so it's not like he's not aware of them. I guess that's fair. They don't have cloaking, so. Eastern side. Now we see some aircraft carriers pushing up. That's interesting. Take reclaim with your comm and NG, says Squealer to Chap. So Squealer's still in the game, still offering advice from Beyond the Grave. Love to see that. 38 minutes on the clock. Team 2 has not lost a player. Team 1 has not since Squealer's death, so doing really well of just not dying. But artillery is raining in on creating an Abyss's position. He's getting shield. No, he's not getting shields. Ooh, that hits an air facility. That's not great. He's going to build a second Duke. He's going to build... Okay, so again, like I always say, please build at least one shield before you start artillery, or at least barely start it. Just... Why? But he is getting it now. But why? Why wait? Why take that risk? It's not going to take you super long to get it. And there goes another frigate. The Yas House from Team 1 slowly diminishing. Team 2 has lost pretty much most of them at this point. Bombers inbound to just slowly eat away at defenses. Billy Nuke outbound? Billy Nuke outbound from Team 2's Katsu. See how much mass he kills off with that. Units are just holding position. Now, if there's a cruiser from the Cybran class, that would be useful. Oh, looks like maybe the destroyer spots something. Oh, 1, 2, 3. Nope, the thing is shot down. I guess there is TMD on board. But the cruiser missile would have been fun. Not cruiser missile. The Cybran would have been fun to watch to redirect that thing. Look at the nonsense here. There's so much here. All the asylum stacking up. Yes, you gotta love it. There's Tempest producing units. Yes, the factories. I hope that maybe my video on that one day about Tempest making units out of its factory butt is helping the situation. But yeah, they're building units, so you know that's always lovely to see. It's like when I watch Fat Boys produce units. It's the same kind of thing. It's like a unit. Can they move while they can build it? They can move while they build, so that is, they have the Fat Boy treatment as well, so that's really nice to see. I don't think the crabs can build and move because they like deploy the eggs or whatever, so that kind of defeated the purpose almost if they could move. Another Omen outbound from Luca, but look at this. Look how far a chap is to this position. I mean, he's almost right there. He's almost at that Trimex position right here. I don't even want to know the reclaim amount on the map at this point. There's a lot of numbers. Oh, only 237,000, he says. It's actually not as much as I thought, which, given the fact that both teams are at 200,000 plus, that definitely makes sense. We built an experimental, most likely another Tempest. Yep, there it is. And how's the air grid doing? Billy Nuke does land. Air grid did get hit a little bit, but not terribly. So that's a thing. Duke is not as promising as Stinky Joe would like, but you know, he did some damage. He's now targeting the nuke, which is now gone. Now that's definitely worth it for killing off that nuke. Again, no shields, 40 minutes, nuke, not good plan. Not a great plan. No T3 air out of anybody on the western edge, but we do have to see T3 over here for Cunning Fox. And T3 air, of course, was built by Soggy, but he hasn't really used it that much, if at all, that I've noticed. Yasau's still hanging out over here. They just will not die. 129 hit points a second regen is a lot to get. But, of course, overwhelming amounts of damage will eventually kill it. So, it's just kind of how the way it goes. Look at all the shots from one unit onto one unit. It's just all those yellow dots running around the map. 40 minutes on the clock here. Eco situation 2.5, 2.3. Team 1 is winning for the first time in the game. Is that reclaim related? Radiant Abyss 700. No, that's not reclaim. That is actual numbers. So Team 1 has caught up and then surpassed Team 1. Great job, Team 1, in that regard. And again, Chap, ooh, he's taking hits. He's dropped into the yellow. Has to be careful. He's lost a lot of his Yasaus. Team 2 could push in. And he has a that's not great. And again, this is the whole thing with with Navy is if you're caught, you have to really hope those torpedoes don't hit you. Oh, looks like he's starting to get out of range of the ASOs. Okay. Is he going to retreat? Okay, he's going to continue to retreat. I thought he was going to turn around there. I was like, don't do that. That would be very bad for your health and your life and whatnot. 3 Tempests online. Bowie Nuke outbound once again, targeting, of course, the arms just to take them offline. Large group of Zui stacked up. Eastern side, again, isn't near collapse, but it's just not going well. Look at the difference between the stuff on Team 2 side of the map and the stuff on Team 1 side of the map. There's a whole lot of the everything over here. Team 2 on the western side, I mean, they have Tempest. They do have Omens. They have a couple of parachute. Well, yeah, parachutes, but they're asylums. There's not as much stuff, but there's a lot of tankier stuff versus Team 1's just build a bunch of the everything and hold position kind of thing. Air holding position over the air forces for Team 2. Bombers just not really cutting it. You need multiple squadrons to take one item out. It's not really worth it to send a couple of units just one after the other. You're not going to do a lot of damage at that, especially with ASFs holding out right over top of them. Surprised there's no aircraft carriers over here. Oh, well, there's one over there. There's a Kiefer. I don't see any more in the midst there. You would think there'd be more there, but there's not. And Chap has almost regen back up into the green. 240 hit points in second region. We'll do that to you. But Team 2 has considerably pushed Team 1 back. It's mainly just engineers and Yasows and a couple of cruisers, but it's just not super great. You are the GOAT, says Soggy. Oh. Is he going to try to blend it in like my last video did a couple of days ago? Oh, well, it's not that close to the air grid, but it's, I mean, decently close. He is almost halfway to building it. If Team 2 spots it, though, that artillery is going to just tear it a new one. But, nope, they don't know about it. So, as long as it stays that way, Team 1 might get a YOLO. That would definitely save them. Target all the bases, or some of the bases, and you would either cause everybody else to quit, or they would fight to the last man, and then you would just bomb them anyway. SMDs, 2... 4, 3, 2, and it's over here. And 2. So every base has at least one full set of SMDs to take out a YOLO. So you'd really want to take out the Navy first, I think, and then push in and take out the SMDs that way. Again, there's a couple of options that Team 1 can do. They just got to keep Team 2 at bay long term. 3 Tempest. Are they building another one? No, they're not building another one. Western side starting to favor Team 2. That 3rd Tempest needs to move in. Why do they always drive backwards? Why? Just turn around and face forward. It makes way more sense. Like these two were doing that. Why can't the brother do that? The sibling just wants to act the way that it wants to act. There's that nice hit there. And of course, the laser weapon's very effective at dealing with Team 1 spam. Same with the Destroyer T1 spam lasers, but it's further distance sort of thing. You can take him out from farther away. No risk of taking shots. Nuke this, says Quiet Storm. 1 NG please, says Ringo. Cunning Fox says, yes, how's this YOLO doing? It's half 50%. Boom Nuke lands. I think it does grab a chunk of those bombers. Nice grab there. If it was intentional or not, it was still great. -3, ladies and gentlemen. My machine is starting to struggle a little bit. I'm not on my main machine, and some of you probably have figured that out already. Tech 3 artillery installation is done. The Team 1 has their own T3 artillery installation. No? Oh, their shields that just blend in with the environment. It does look like the artillery's going for Quiet Storm's base. Do not tell me you're trying to strike ground or naval units with artillery. Wouldn't be the first time I've seen that, but just not really worth it. But you can see that little group of force, little being a lot, inbound from Team 2, just again ever so slowly. Yeah, naval maps in terms of viewership sometimes they'd find it a little boring. I get it. I really do from the, not casted, but the viewer standpoint. But it is fun to just watch a whole bunch of ships just throw plasma and shots and whatnot at one another and see what happens. 4th Tempest online for Team 2. 5th one under construction. 6th one almost done. 5th one and 6th one. That's just so much Tempests. It really is. No Atlanti. Why? Why no Atlantes? Why? Why? Laser has been started in the sky for Katsu. Laser, of course, has been started by Stinky Joe. Dart Stand finishes an experimental probably, and that Tempest. Yep, there it is. And Team 1's credit and Abyss. Credit to him. He's keeping Team 2 at bay. It's essentially 1 player versus 4, which is he's doing very, very well in that regard. We even see engineers coming over to assist from both Soggy Cow, which is going for hives and for shields. Love to see that actual combo, because then you can have the hives assist the shielding. And then we have some NGs here from Chap. So a lot of players, at least half of them, getting a piece of that YOLO and trying to finish it sooner rather than later. Because again, Navy is not looking good for Team 1. Stinky Joe finishes that satellite, and if he sends it immediately to the air grid, he's going to know about it. Team 2 is going to know about it. It's not a good day. But it looks like his artillery... Oh, that's Team 1's artillery. Okay, never mind. Look like the shot from Team 2. Give mass to Cunning, says Chap. Yep, that's a good idea. Shield says Quiet Storm. Yes, please. In the green, 75% done. Oh, to be fair, though, if a YOLO goes off, it'll probably kill a lot of stuff and help the sim speed a little bit for me. Lucre Businesses, another experimental, most likely another Tempest. I was going to say he's... Oh, no, he built a Colossus. Ooh, that's interesting. Artillery started for Team 2's Ringo. And that's an emissary, too. Somebody else likes the emissary. Love to see that. Oh, satellite spam coming online for Katsu. And Awasa Bomber has been transferred over to Katsu because he is the air player on that side of the map. At least new construction started for Weeb. So again, game enders, or at least pseudo game enders, have been thought about. One of them obviously has been thought about. It's almost done. 44 minutes on the clock. This might save Team 1 the game at this point, at least in terms of map control. Both teams, at 2.4k mass each. A couple of Vespers come and say hi. There's not really a lot of torpedo-capable ships nearby, so they're just kind of having fun running amok over there. And I think the surge with the incoming forces. Look at this. Just want to point something out. This is a Navy map, and this is what we're looking at. Just a bunch of Team 1 spam everywhere. All these spirits facing all of those Zooey. Look at that. Just the nonsense that is. It's like, yeah, I want to play Navy. Okay, I'll just build hover. But that's not Navy. I know. It's called pseudo-Navy. D2 Tort Bombers inbound for Chap's comm, most likely. Oh, that's a lot of torpedoes hitting that comm. Oh, is it a one-tap? It's not a one-tap. He got saved by a couple of facilities over top of him. But bombers are inbound. Are they going to get a second pass? If they do, it's going to kill the comm. Oh, there's ASFs. Are they going to drop another payload? Ooh, it's not going to be good for him. He's sitting at 50% hit points roughly. He has a lot of regen, of course. Oh, did they deploy enough? Oh, they did. Ooh, that's rough. 45 minutes on the clock, and Team 1 suffers the second death of the game. And it is it is Chap due to Weeb's Tort Bombers. Nice snipe by Weeb. Takes out a player on that western side. An annoying player at that with that nano or regen nonsense that the Seraphim like to do. Satellite over top going after whatever over here for Quiet Storm. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Another YOLO, almost back-to-back matches in terms of releasing the videos. I don't plan them in any way like that, so this is not how that goes. I actually looked up this replay today, made sure it worked, and then casted the game. So Yes, technically, I thought about the YOLO, but I didn't see who won this game. I just made sure there was no desync, so there's that. I do my best to make sure that I don't know. There is once in a while I'll actually kind of watch it, but especially a sentence game where I like kind of watch at least half of it just to get an idea of how the match goes for that half, and then kind of just go, okay, in the corner I go and hide. Oh, that YOLO's going to load pretty quickly. Ooh, even at -3, it's going to go pretty quickly. Shields built immediately. Nice to see multiple shields. TMD, PD being built. SMDs being built. Love the cooperation from Team 1 on that side of the map. Air fight happens. Not great for the ASFs for Team 1. Look at the distraction that Awasa bomber caused. Ooh, they'll probably get the bomber. The bomber is going for the YOLO. I don't think it'll get there. Oh, unfortunate. It was a couple of moments away from releasing a payload, though, that's for sure. Does crash land and take out a shield and a T3 mech, so that's something, but Team 2 took out a lot of ASFs in that incursion, so great win by Team 2. Again, huge distraction. That means Team 2's got to know about the YOLO. Oh, yeah. Target pigeons with already YOLO. Yep, they definitely know about it. I don't know if that was a happy accident that they didn't know about it till then, but still. Lots of interceptors. You know, it's target-rich environment, at least, for those ASFs, but the little missiles on board kind of, one-shot the everything over there. SMD by Squealer. Talking about more SMD, I think. Nuke is outbound. Do not tell me it hits that satellite. Either they patched that or not, but there's that one video. You can go watch it. I don't remember what video number it is, but it's literally just new type of SMD, and it's a satellite positioned above a YOLO. The YOLO hits the satellite, blows up, and then the game just continues with one team just building another satellite, putting it over top, and then killing it off. As you're preventing the YOLO from actually reaching the other side of the map. Doesn't kill anything on the ground because it's so far up in the air, but it's definitely one of those, yeah, this should be patched kind of things. So, oh, that's not great for Team 2. They were doing so very well on this eastern side. Tempest, so like, go. And we see on the western side, Luca's pushing in as well. The front line, at least on the western side, is collapsing significantly. Oh, the YOLO strike is going to hit a lot of summits. Kaboom! Oh, the dead everything. Actually, it doesn't hit as much as I thought it would. That summit should be killed. That aircraft carrier should be dead. That summit should be dead. Yep, there goes that one. There goes that Neptune. That's sad. That thing is still alive, surprisingly enough. How? How is that thing? It hit right there. I don't... No, it is squid. None of those strats drop? Hold on. Did strats drop somewhere? I don't see... are they talking about the Tempest, maybe? That's a naval vessel. No idea. Oh, there's some strats. Is Team 2 talking about that? Huh. Maybe none of their strats dropped, which is very weird. Yeah, there's some higher tech or higher count mass over there. Artillery done for Ringo, so T3 artilleries are online. Western side for Team 1 is gone. Western side for the Navy is gone. The eastern side still holding on. Another YOLO outbound. Again, Team 2 has at least SMDs to protect one base at a minimum, if not 2 at this point, but that one's still at 3. That one's at almost 6. Ringo has his nice little artillery. If you don't target the YOLO, what are you doing? You got to take that thing out immediately. 47 minutes, 48 seconds on the clock here. And all of Team 1's hopes are riding on that location right there. We even see Creating Abysses over here to come help. And he's out in the open, but he's moving in to help. We even see Cunning Fox moving in out of the water to get to safety. We need to collapse on... yeah, you do. But of course the YOLO is shot down. That's kind of to be expected. Looks like 1 out of that one and 1 out of that one. So, actually maybe 2 out of that one actually. Looks like T3 artillery from Cow is going after the emissary. So we'll see if that ends up breaking the shields or not. I don't think so, just with 1, but it might be. Shields are starting to collapse with the bomber raids. Not great. The emitters need to be targeted by that satellite grouping. Oh, another one inbound. Oh, the shields go down at the not a great moment. Emitters are down, targeting T3 P-gens. They're reclaiming and building more shields immediately. And that group of hives is going to build it. Another YOLO is outbound. Ooh, artillery hits right below it. You got to target the P-gens, target something. I mean, you can target the YOLO all you want, but taking out the P-gens would definitely knock out that entire western side. Shield is regen. Ooh, that hit. That's got to hurt. Shield's back online. I feel like if the YOLO dies, Team 1's kind of done, because that's really what else they got. You know, there's Summits inbound. There's Summits inbound. Sorry, Summit. Tempest, and Tempest inbound. They're trying to get into range. That one's getting pretty close, but it's heavily damaged. SMDs are being targeted. P-gen goes down. This is not a great day for Team 1. And I don't think they have enough time. I think that's the problem, is they just don't have enough time. With those strat bombers inbound, that might be enough to keep the shields offline. Tempest shots inbound. Oh, and that's enough. There goes the YOLO. And Team 1 recalls instantly as that happened. Epic. Yep, there's definitely not an hour long, but it was definitely a great game there. And there's the game. Team 2 gets a flawless victory. It was not a flawless game. 2 players died, so it was not a flawless game, which has never happened yet. But that is the game here, folks. Thank you so much for watching. I really, really, really do appreciate it. If you haven't, because why not at this point, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit all the buttons. MVP for me, I think Weeb. I think Weeb did a very good job. Went for that early battleship to help Team 2 come back on this eastern side because they were getting pushed in. Obviously, Luca was a solid player on the western side. Got pushed in a couple of times, but kept at it. Same thing with Ringo. He got hit pretty hard. But I think that snipe on Chap definitely helped break up that front line a little bit faster. Helped put a little bit more pressure. And then, of course, Weeb coming in. Same thing with Katsu, but Weeb coming in with multiple bombing runs to try to take out that YOLO. Finally took it out with some assistance from his other air player, teammate of Katsu. And that was the game. I did find the Spirit spam kind of funny, but he switched to Aurora, so it's a little bit better to see that. But let me know down in the comments what your favorite moment of the video was. Thank you so much for watching to the end of the video. And I will see all of you in the next one.